What is the dumbest rule in sports? What do you do when you're really deeply unhappy? What makes this crappy world a little less crappy? Coffee. Nothing fancy. Trees! I love trees! Music and art in general. Kindness you find in some strangers. When in your life have you been a victim of stereotyping? I'm a pretty ordinary, slightly dorky looking white guy with glasses and a pretty easygoing personality. People at a bar were talking about what they do for a living and some dude pointed at me and said, "Guarantee he's an accountant or something." I am an accountant. I'm Mexican and told one of my visibly Latino, I'm light-skinned classmates I was. Despite my facial structure, thick, curly, wavy hair, occasional accent, build, and literal proof from my parents, he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "No, you're not. Sorry, let me go legally change my name to Juana, get a spray tan, and dye my hair black." The fact he's Mexican himself made it 10 times funnier. Car dealer assumed I was young and broke because of my appearance. I don't dress fancy, mostly jeans and t-shirts. He refused to let me test drive a used Camaro SS, assuming that I wanted a joyride, until I showed him my 6-figure job offer letter. His eyes got real wide and he started profusely apologizing. I walked out and wound up buying the car from another dealer. It was a slow day too. He was probably hurting for a commission. His boss wasn't happy about it either. Because I'm quiet, people assume I can't speak in public. I have red hair. People assume I have a bad temper. Would you say that makes you angry? Is taking a shit in a public school bathroom a white stereotype? Because one time in high school, some freshman, I was a junior at a time, was like, "Ugh, who's taking a shit?" White people. People think I'm a lesbian because I love football and have a nose piercing. Somebody said I was a tomboy when I was male in the first place. I guess I look like a woman. What do you think about veganism? There was a time I mocked vegans. The extreme portrait painted of them in the media was unappealing and made me think they were all a tad loopy. Now I'm older and educated myself. I have a good friend who's vegan and I'm slowly starting to change parts of my diet. I won't be that person who thinks protesting a dairy display is going to change the world, but I will quietly enjoy the changes I make to myself for my own reasons. No issues whatsoever with it. Just because I'm an omnivore doesn't mean anyone should conform to my style of acquiring nutrition. And to be fair, there are many wonderful vegan dishes and recipes out there that give grease or fat-laden meat dishes a refreshingly light run for their money. It's as easy as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's nice for animals. It's funny how many non-vegans get mad about it. Sorts, this thread. Working on getting to that point. I'm still a meat eater, but I think that ultimately, if you can live in a way that minimizes the suffering of others, you should, and that includes animals. Our goal should be to move that way more and more, which is why I think it's great you have things like the McPlant and the Impossible Whopper. Creating mainstream access to that kind of stuff is huge. I struggle with it personally, but I'm hoping one day we can all get there. I commend them. I'd join them if the cheese options were better. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? You are a stranger from the internet. You hate Baby Yoda. Oh, do we have a millennial in the Reddit thread? His name's Grogu, by the way. You don't have to say Baby Yoda anymore. I'm an asshole. It's okay though. I like me and don't need others to validate my existence. Yeah, you sound like an asshole. I've seen you walking down in Chinatown. I called you, but you could not look around. Because I tend to not keep in contact with people and have no desire to interact with people beyond answering random questions. Humans are tribal creatures. Tribes fight. I lack the social skills and the willingness to commit to an ongoing relationship. It's not you, it's me. You won't DM me. What do you think about the most before going to sleep? All the mistakes I've made, TBH. How much I wish I could go back in time and change some of the things I've done. Me in a scenario where I have a life that I enjoy. I don't. I hit the pillow and I'm asleep in about 2 minutes. Now staying asleep, that's another issue. I'm normally awake about 3 hours later for an hour or two. My girlfriend and I hug the pillow pretending it's her. I also choose this guy's pillow girlfriend. Doom. What's something that should have been taught to today's youth? Financial education. How to care for pets. Doesn't matter how much about the specifics, but having the daily responsibilities of a pet. No days off, another living thing relying on you and loving you is huge for patience, diligence, and social and emotional growth. I have fostered about 30 cats in my life, not all at once, and I can't stand the ignorance and cruelty of people. Critical thinking. That there are multiple ways to solve a problem. Finding offense in everything makes the world boring. Not everything deserves an argument. What's that one song that you listen to that lifts you up from anything you're going through? Mine varies, but if I had to pick, a really good one that I've recently listened back into is Shattered, Turn the Car Around by OAR. That's a good song, in my opinion. Lean on Me by Bill Withers. I like Piano Man by Billy Joel. Sandstorm. You listen to Darude's Sandstorm when you're feeling down? Good for you, man. Small Worlds by Mac Miller. Jack Sparrow by Lonely Island. Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Anything by Bruno Mars, really. Fighter by Christina Aguilera. Gamers of Reddit, what is your comfort game? Guys, you'll never guess what my comfort game is. It's Pokemon. Literally any Pokemon game. You guys are probably sick of it by now. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Since the randomizer, it's really my go-to. I just want to get away from life game. Skyrim. Favorite game ever. Can play that game for hours and never get bored. Probably Minecraft. Just build on creative creative mode and enjoy. Mass Effect. Hands down, Super Mario 64 for me. Tetris. Pokemon Gold version. I've had at least one playthrough a year since its release. Age of Empires 2, Age of Mythology. What is your favorite thing to eat for breakfast? You guys ever had biscuits and gravy? Holy moly, you guys. Like, seriously. I'm telling you. Holy shit! The first post is biscuits and gravy. It's like I read the mind of this folder full of posts. Grilled cheese. Spanakopita. I hope I got that right. It's a Greek dish, which is basically spinach and feta wrapped in phyllo dough. So delicious. My favorite breakfast comes from a local cafe. They have a pastrami and eggplant hash, about 100 times better than it sounds, that they serve with home fries and topped with poached eggs. So good. Yogurt. What kind of yogurt, though? Are we talking like Greek yogurt? Or are we talking like Go-Gurt? Vitamin C tablets. If you could know the truth behind any secret or mystery, what would it be? Who really killed JFK? Why some fathers take years to buy milk? Whatever happened to Madeleine McCann? Pretty sure myself and the rest of the entire world would love to know the truth of what happened to that poor little girl. Wherever she is, dead or alive, I hope her soul is at peace. I had a friend go missing in middle school or high school. I would love to know what actually happened. He was so cute and we had some really great times and he was such a sweet kid, but he got mixed with some older kids and drugs and then went missing. Hit our little community really hard. I think I've sorted my religion and I'm cool with what happens after I die, and I want to see other secrets of the universe reveal themselves, but mostly I want to know where he is and why. He was just a kid. What happened to Epstein? We already know. UFOs. Intelligent life elsewhere. What's in Area 51? What my cat is saying. What did your parents say to you as a kid that still affects you today? If you're hungry, drink a glass of water because you aren't. My dad told me that when I was 6. I wasn't a fat child. I had a soft stomach and chubby cheeks, but I was also just as active as my 2 underweight sisters. My dad always said I weighed 15 pounds more than I looked, and I was a very strong little girl. I used to fight boys 3 to 4 years older than me if they even looked at my sisters wrong. When I was 13, my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer. 3 months later, so was I. She died, I lived. My mom once told me she wished it had been me who died. What? Do the right thing, even when no one is looking. One day, when I was like 8 or 9, my dad told me that I was too noisy. I don't know why that stuck to me so much, but now I'm 26 and I'm the quietest person you could ever know. My dad told me when I was about 9 that nobody would accept me and that I needed to look out for myself. Me up for a long time, but now he's bitter and alone and I'm surrounded by people who care about me. So, yeah. Who do you fear the most? The inevitability of death. That's not a person. Oh, where the lobster? Whatever. Losing my child. Or my child losing me before he's ready. It literally keeps me up at night sometimes. Dying alone, not like in a sudden accident, but where I'd have to lay there literally alone and saddened with grief for my family. Fundamentalists of any religion. They have given up rational thinking and are a slave to dogma and such, and are capable of atrocities that fit that dogma. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. I can't believe I just said that. The mail carrier, he brings bills every day. That scares me that I can't pay them sometimes, which keeps me up at night. Scary. Shrek. Okay. Australia. Nah, the Australians are fine. They pay my bills. Leave the Australians alone. They get a pass. They were on fire a couple years ago. How would you survive a zombie apocalypse? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Can we be honest? Who? Most likely we won't. The same way I survive everything else. Wait patiently for it to pass. I would not. Checking out immediately. Surround my house with treadmills. They'll just keep walking forever. Go to the nearest Costco. Zombies don't have membership cards and they can't get in. I told my family that my zombie apocalypse plan is to get bitten on purpose right at the start. Rebuilding a society is work and I ain't about that. Be the main character. I won't. Everybody dies sometime. Killing anything in a 3-mile radius and then sit directly in the middle on top of a car in a cloak, cross-legged, listening to the wind. Which animal makes the most annoying noise? Human. Cardi B. Okay. Weird. Foxes. Either f***ing or murdering each other at 2 in the morning. Can't tell which it is. Can't sleep through it. My kids. How in heck has nobody said cicadas yet? Man. No, but seriously, it's cockatoos. Roosters. Every f***ing morning. This guy lives on a farm. Mosquitoes. Pugs trying to breathe. Breaks my heart. Wish people wouldn't do that. An entitlement of Karens. What's a job outside of the military where people should be thanked for their service? Garbage collection. Firefighters. Paramedics. Bus drivers. Guy that cleans portable toilets. Teachers. What is your most radical political view? Euthanasia should be available for every adult who asks for it. How can we demand anything from people if we don't even give them the most basic freedom that if opting out altogether? Republicans and Democrats just pretend to oppose each other so that they can make sure that a third party doesn't arise, and to protect the administrative state where they make their money. Pro-choice. Seemingly that we should care more about our farmers and trade workers. That California should be a different country because it's a complete hole. I disagree. All social media should be illegal. I hard disagree. What's something people consider really complicated when it's really quite simple? Telling the truth. Preparing your own tax return. Easy. Being nice to others. others. That little knob next to your steering wheel that indicates whether you're gonna make a turn. Changing a flat tire. To not worry about what anyone else is doing and to worry about themselves. Financial literacy. Basic maths. You've inherited an Irish-English pub. What do you name it? Patio furnitures. That's really good. That's really good. Patio furnitures. I love that. Pubby McPub face. No, that's not good. Oh no. That's really funny. The fucking beaver. I get it. Sex joke. The Winchester. The Bank of Ireland. Keep it whatever name it was. Have you seen one not already named? Why throw away history? Nerd. Whatever. What's the worst place you could be when the power goes out? Old-timey building elevator. Operating table. In the middle of taking a dump. Yeah, especially in like a Walmart bathroom. Could you imagine the shock and horror on my face if I'm sitting in a public stall and the power goes out? Oh no. Hawkins, Indiana. Saying the last Bloody Mary into the mirror. What is something that people think they understand, but they really don't? Politics and religion. Socialism and social contracts. Science. It's never settled, and what's a fact today is often not a fact in less than a decade. Anybody who tells you the science is settled is basically asking you to take something on the same religious faith we used to believe in God. Science is not meant to be treated like non-theistic religion. The stock market. Parents. AI. I thought that said Al for a second, and I was like, who the frick is Al? Like the guy from Toy Story 2? Well, for me, I don't think I understand much, and I actually understand even less than that. What game are you currently playing right now, and how good is it? Oh, chess. As good as they get. Battlefield 2042. Not great, but I enjoy it. Homescapes on my phone. It's like Candy Crush, but better. Try not to get caught on Reddit at work. It's okay so far. Gotta go. Far Cry 3. So far, it's been a blast. Project Zomboid. I like the way you can do what you want to burn down a house with zombies in it. Drive with our car out in the woods and build a house from scratch and live in nature. Do it. You can do nearly everything you want. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. What is your profile picture, brother? Billie Eilish toast. Whoa. I'm gonna throw up. Dude, oh god. Okay, I'm not looking. My hand is covering the profile picture. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Chorish so far, then again, this is the first franchise I've played, and mostly got it because Punisher, who I'm yet to see outside tutorial cutscene. r/AskReddit. It's good so far. What's something you know nothing about? I don't know. Women. Math. There are 10 numbers if you include 0, and I can identify most of them. Beyond that, I haven't a clue. The real world. P.S. I'm just 15. Okay. Most sports. Programming. Space and the depths of the ocean. Chemistry. The future. I have no idea how bad it's gonna be, but I know it will be worse than I can imagine. Andrew Tate. Algebra. What do you do when you're really deeply unhappy? Cry myself into nap mode. I fix everything that I do have power over. Clean my room, dust the bookshelf, rearrange my makeup, etc. Isolate. I actively push people away and avoid friends and family. Eat everything I can find and watch my comfort movies and TV shows. Cry, but then I look in the mirror because it looks cute when I cry, and then I stop crying because I look cute. Shut down pretty much. I turn into a leave me the f*** alone, don't talk to me mood. Okay. I try to keep in mind that it is just a human emotion like any other, which means that it's not everlasting. Clean the house. I'm not sure why, but it helps. Sing. I like to order garbage food and overeat. Fortunately, I have enough disposable income to generally rent happiness and not have to deal with a lot of my underlying issues. Brother, get help, please. I'm begging you. Non-Canadians. What are your thoughts and opinions and images of Canada? Maple syrup. Like Sweden, but bigger. Hey, I want to go build a snowman in Canada. People speak funny. Hey, what's the newest song on your playlist? Let me see. I always like these music questions. The newest song on my playlist is Don't Miss Me by Claire Rosencrantz. Fish from the South Park 25th anniversary concert sung by Trey Parker. Where Is My Mind by Pixies. Nebula remix by Haru P. Old Dirty Bastard, Shimmy Shimmy Yeah. Born to Be My Baby by Bon Jovi. Viva Forever. Foo Fighters, My Hero, because Shane Hawkins killed that song in his dad's tribute concert. Seabat. Oh no. What's an awful boy's name you cringe when you hear? The correct answer here is Joseph. City Expert 3175 is the worst. Basically any new age name with an X. Daxon, Jackson, Braxton, Saxman, Gonk, Jackson. A lot of people my age named their sons that because they wanted to fuck the guy from Sons of Anarchy, which is weird. I have a hard time taking boys' names Courtney seriously. Tristan. What is the dumbest rule in sports? You can't use cameras or sensors when judging and speed walking. It must be done by a human observer. Why? Because when they did, they found that everyone is basically cheating all the time. In essence, speed walking has a rule that guarantees that speed walking is actually the sport of cheating at speed speed walking. Knocking your opponent off his horse in a joust means you get to keep his horse. This is a barrier to poorer knights, as they'd be risk-averse when competing since they could lose what few steeds they have. Nobles with more horses can compete with less worry. Just don't lose, lol. Catching the snitch should be worth, at most, 50 points. 150 is ridiculous. In volleyball, if one player is sleeveless, then all on the team must be as well. What do you like most about the Germans? Kids are kinder there. Road manners. They follow their country's driving rules to a T, so it makes life bearable on the Autobahn. Did a lot of walking in Austria and Germany in the Alps. We stayed in the mountain huts. 90% were Austrian or German, always found them friendly. I think it helped making an effort to learn German. If I made a mistake, they'd correct me and tell me how to say it correctly, but not in a snotty way, unlike the French. The average German are insanely good at driving. Every German, including me, silently watching to see what others think about them. An almost childlike sense of exploration when abroad. Not scared to try new stuff just for the sake of it. Their punctuality, straightforwardness, and honesty. Sense of humor, engineering, beer, and bread. Also, despite their stoic demeanor, they're very kind and friendly when you get to know them. They're some of the kindest people I've ever met. I got jumped in Germany, and when I got to the bus stop, they waffled between getting me to a doctor and going back to fight them. I had never met any of them. Hit it off with a punk rocker at a show and asked where I was living. Told him, and he said he loved going there to fight Americans, and asked if I would like to go there with him to fight Americans. Their spirit is just something else. Germans make beautiful Gerwomans. I met a lot of Germans traveling Australia and also really enjoyed being in Germany when I was in Europe. I think their sense of humor is brilliant. For reference, I'm English, unfortunate, and they're just honest people. No games or messing around with people. I lived in Berlin for a bit and came away with the impression that no other country in the world really understands bread. My grandparents immigrated to Australia from Germany, and I love the way they celebrate Christmas. Also, currywurst in the middle of winter in Berlin hits different. What is a food you hate everyone else loves? The cheap frosting on cupcakes. Truffles in any form. No, I am not rich. I'm actually quite easy to feed. I just can't stand the taste or smell. They ruin everything they touch. Kale. It tastes like the world if feet could fart. Takis. Tastes like my vomit after too many tequilas. Coconut. Coleslaw. Gag just thinking about it. Beer. For years I was told it's an acquired taste. Eventually you'll find a beer you love. I've tried hundreds of different beers from all over the world. I disliked some of them less than others, but never really liked any of them. Runny eggs. Olives. Sweet potatoes and sweet potato fries. Regular potatoes and regular fries are superior in every way. Ranch. What do you think will be illegal in 50 years from now? I hope child beauty pageants in the US. Sexually assaulting robots. Single-use plastic. Breeding super unhealthy dog breeds like pugs, Frenchies, and others. Super unethical. Hopefully people will do something about it. Drinking any liquid other than Brondo. Murdering people. I'm pretty sure that'll still be illegal in 50 years. Except for one day a year. Unfortunately, I think privacy and the right to repair anything will become illegal slowly over time. I think that IP rights will take such an egregious turn that it'll become illegal to circumvent ads on web pages. And there will be DRM and planned obsolescence in absolutely everything. It should go without saying that I hope I'm wrong. Family vloggers, social media influencers that are exploiting their kids for views and money. VPNs, ad block, putting the little bit of tape on your laptop camera, etc. All in the name of national security, I'm sure. Owning anything, apparently. If God allowed you to take over for a while, what would you do? Take out the cartridge, blow on it, put it back in. Try turning the world off and back on again. According to IT, this should fix everything. Bring back dinosaurs to spice things up. Probably nothing. Can't risk altering the space-time continuum again. What do you mean again? I'd make gravity switch to a different random direction every 30 seconds. Make it possible to touch your elbow with your nose. I'd go Old Testament style and take out the scum of the earth in epic fashion. End world hunger, solve all conflicts in the world, and make an island in the shape of a I'm not qualified to be God. I'll pass. Make karma more immediate and pronounced. I only looked in the comments to see if anyone said delete Australia. Which song never fails to hype you up? Song 2, Blur. DMX, X gon' give it to ya. Cracks fingers. Slowly presses G note on a piano. Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, specifically the remixes. Rasputin. Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. September by Earth, Wind and Fire. Paper Planes by MIA. Dare by Gorillaz. Are You Gonna Be My Girl by Jet. Why don't you have friends? Jeez, Mom, here too? I don't know how to socialize. I don't trust people. Every friend I've had has shown me another side of them that I can't accept. A wicked side. I'm just not interesting at all. I mean, on the surface, I may spark someone's interest, but after spending a small amount of time with me, I'm actually dull as Multiple reasons. 1, I work a lot and study. 2, poor social skills. 3, I'm terrible at keeping in touch. And 4, I tend to go out of my way for people who never go out of their way for me. 5, because of 4, when people do me dirty, I like flaking at the last minute. I don't give them a second chance. Because I'm depressed and nobody likes a downer. I have a personality disorder that impacts every relationship in my life. I can be very intense and sometimes I don't always catch social cues. I also also need for people to give me direct yes, no, you can come now, etc. answers, or I won't get it. Which song slaps but is ruined by the lyrics? What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown? I ain't got a job now. We really were all jamming out at the club to this. Blurred lines. It's catchy as but Jesus Christ, what are those lyrics? Better off listening to World Crimes. The Macarena. Once you get over the dance and the two lads having a sing-along, the actual lyrics have the young woman cheating on the boyfriend she hates with his two friends and asking the listener to join her for fun after. I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys is a fantastic pop ballad, but the lyrics make no sense. Then I heard the alternate version with way better lyrics. Why did they not release this version? Every Breath You Take by the Police. Can't believe I don't see it mentioned yet. Kanye and Lil Pump. I love it. Beat and cadence rhythm are great. Lyrics are garbage. Oh yeah, when the first time they asked you if you want sparkling or still, are you trying to tell me you was drinking sparkling water before you came up here? It's lyrical genius, if you ask me. Drake started from the bottom. Not the lyrics per se, but his entire verse, every verse. Who is allowed to knock on your bedroom window at 3 a.m.? The Grim Reaper. Everyone else can wait until morning. Opportunity. My kids. I don't care if they snuck out, forgot their keys, and got drunk and stoned. If they need help, I'm always their dad and will let them come in to be safe. Everyone who can fly up to the 4th floor. Firefighters, it's more likely really badly urgent. Anyone who can make it up that high. My cat. Or like a cute owl or something. Hagrid. No one else. The person who's trying to tell me that my house is on fire and I should get out before I burn to death. What app will you never install? Rage. Shadow Legends. Uber Eats. Candy Crush. I once spent 3 hours straight playing that game. I was addicted. I hated hearing Sugar Crush when I played, but I couldn't stop. I didn't like the Candy Crusher I had become and could never bring myself to tell anyone when I achieved a top 10 score on a level because of how literally pathetic it sounds. When I deleted the app, I said never again, and I've been sober for 6 years. Talking Angela. The sports betting apps. Grindr. Username doesn't check out. Look who's talking. TikTok. You want to be different so bad. Okay, Drive 8732. Reddit. Same. Never even my wildest dreams. On a second date with a girl, she asked me to install one of those parental monitoring apps that allow the parents, or her in this case, to see everything you're doing with or on your phone. Didn't install the app. Didn't have a third date either. Any online dating app. What's one hobby that you really just don't get? Family vloggers. Collecting expense name brand sneakers that stay in their shoeboxes in a closet. Spelunking. Phew, my hobby isn't here. Suspension. That one where people put large hooks into their backs and hang around like it's fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Buying expensive, trendy clothing constantly. Free climbing. One slip up, no lifeline, and practically certain death. I don't get it. I don't think motorcycles are inherently bad, but anyone who takes pride in making a motorcycle as loud as possible is just objectively an annoying person. Bird watching. It's probably my ADHD, but just sitting for hours just watching birds seems so boring. Sorry if you like this. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't get train spotting. Look! A train's on schedule! What is the creepiest thing that society accepts as a cultural norm? Who's the most depressed? Who suffer the most? Who has the most issues in life? It's like a competition. I wish I had it all perfect, but damn, some people feel bad that they do. Paparazzi. Obsessing over celebrities to the point where stalking them is considered normal. Literal stalking. Like the right to privacy is irrelevant or something. People literally will follow them, track them, stalk their family, etc. The way we treat celebrities is mindless consumerism. Advertising everywhere. Taking pictures of strangers in public and posting it online. People lying constantly is more desirable to people than having honest conversations so they can actually solve problems together. Fathers being possessive over their daughter's sexuality is flipping creepy to me. I understand being sad seeing them grow from a child into an adult, but when you have a guy cheering his son on for getting a girlfriend and literally threatening his daughter's boyfriend, gives me the creeps. Which fictional detective would you trust to solve your murder? Benoit Blanc. Hercule Poirot. Columbo. 100%. Give my case to the 9-9. Nancy Drew. Scooby and those meddling kids. Sherlock Holmes. Pikachu! What's a ridiculous design flaw of the human body? When you accidentally bite your cheek, the inside of it puffs up, making it so much easier to accidentally bite it again for a second, third, and fourth time. Pinky toe was made to hit corners. Many vital organs being completely unprotected by anything other than skin. Dopamine receptors constantly needing something new in order to keep flowing. I just want to be happy when I buy food or go on a walk. Hiccups. They're annoying. Breath tube, breathe tube, and food tube beside each other. The fact I can't grab stuff with my feet. I want hand feet. I want to be able to climb properly with them. I'd say our loss of the ability to produce our own vitamin C was kind of a downer. Having to bleed for a week every month to be informed you're not pregnant. Goddamn wisdom teeth. The architect of the human body put the playground too close to the sewage plant. What common sayings are actually terrible advice? Never ever give up. Sometimes it's just time to stop. Try everything once. There's plenty of things not worth trying once. Just be yourself. Some of you are terrible. Never give up. Ignore the bullies and they'll stop. When one door closes, another one opens. It's a cute sentiment, but not truly realistic. Sometimes you gotta go through a window. Do what you love and you'll never never have to work another day in your life. The problem with turning your passion into your job is that even a dream job will suck eventually. People will quickly lead to burnout. Opposites attract. Attract? Yes. Combine into a healthy relationship? Rarely. Sleep like a baby. It implies that babies sleep really well. My second is 4 days old. I can confirm babies don't sleep well. What is something everyone should try once in their lives? Going to the movie theater by yourself. I can confirm that this is awesome. I used to do this a lot whenever I would go see Marvel movies or Star Wars or just whatever movie. Go to a movie theater by yourself. It's fun. A quiet morning alone on a beach, just sitting and listening to the waves. Skinny dipping. Eating at a restaurant alone. Ride horseback on the Lord of the Rings trail in New Zealand. Going to bed early. Solo traveling. Using a bidet. Being poor and realize what life is like for people at the bottom of society will be an eye-opener for sure. What's something you would not do for $100 but would consider doing for $500? I would eat 2 raw Carolina Reapers on camera for $500 but not $100. Taking a day off work. Driving someone over an hour away and back if it is not a good friend or family. In that case, I'd do it for free. Voluntarily get bumped from a flight. Work on a Saturday. Drive 150 plus miles for something. It's not worth the effort for $100. Sell an Xbox? Fix your plumbing. A circumcision. A cheap circumcision is a ripoff. Literally. What is a movie you've only seen once and absolutely refuse to watch again? The Road. Aragon. Dishonor on that whole production. Midsummer. Not because it was bad. It just made me very uncomfortable. Precious. Too much sexual trauma. Percy Jackson in the Olympians movie. Pretty sure the directors didn't even read the book for reference. Antichrist. Don't Look Up. It was too real and too unsettling. American History X. Heartbreaking and disturbing. Schindler's List. It was a great and important film, but once was enough. Joker. Brother. You are the Joker. And not in that way. You're joking. You gotta be joking. They did too good of a job and I ended up feeling sick. Alright, buddy. Requiem for a Dream. I can't do it. So uncomfortable. If a private detective stuck their nose into your life, what would they find? Nice try, detective. That my routine is very boring, but my behavior is super weird. No need for a private detective. Just buy me a few drinks and I'll spill all my dirt. I'm no saint, but I'm okay with who I am. Why this MF sleep 2 hours one day and 16 hours the next? I'm boring and I'm lazy. Debt and masturbation. That I have a crippling Lego addiction. Loneliness. What TV series are you loving right now? Silicon Valley. What We Do in the Shadows. Barry. The Bear on Hulu. Best show so far this year. Adventure Time. The Boys. Just finished Fleabag. I watched Fleabag after a breakup of a long-term relationship. Almost 4 years with this guy. You can imagine how much it made me cry. One of the best things I've ever seen. What's an amazing documentary everyone should watch at least once? They Shall Not Grow Old. Dear Zachary. Searching for Sugar Man. If you are a fan of music at all, you absolutely should watch this. Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Whatever David Attenborough narrates. The Mind of a Chef. Oh man, did no one say Icarus yet? It's like a documentary thriller. Absolutely caught me off guard. The Jinx on HBO. Absolutely unbelievable. Fantastic Fungi on Netflix. It's so neat and really eye-opening how interconnected things are. Abducted in Plain Sight. Definitely a jaw-dropping moment at one point for a number of reasons. This is Spinal Tap. Planet Earth. Really any of David Attenborough's magnificent series, but Planet Earth was a jewel in a most dazzling crown. If you were transported back in time to the 1600s, what everyday skills and knowledge do you have that can make you seem godlike? F you, Newton. I know how to do Eagregian physics. I'm an ex-science teacher who moved into commercial electrical systems. If I could get some wealthy backing, I'm pretty sure I could jumpstart the Industrial Revolution. I'm pretty sure that I could be a fairly successful physician, just from my modern understanding of things like sanitation and hygiene, nutrition, germ theory, first aid, basic antibiotics, and other general health knowledge. I would be able to fascinate a woman with a piece of cheese. Opening a PDF. With what? Adobe. I can breakdance. I think this would at least get me a job as a court jester. None. I don't want to be labeled as a witch and burnt to death. Not a fucking one. What song never fails to make you cry? Mad World. Just what I needed. My wife asked me to dance when we first met. That song was playing. She's gone now. Cry is a little too strong sentiment, but oof. My heart whenever Against All Odds by Phil Collins comes on. That's a man who knows how it feels when the one that got away, got away. Unchained Melody. What a Wonderful World was the last song I ever sang to my grandma. I don't remember much of that day, but I do remember asking to be alone with just her and my parents. I hope she heard me. She wasn't responsive and she died a couple weeks later. Fix You by Coldplay. Somewhere Over the Rainbow from Israel Kamakawiole. Oh, I'm sure I butchered that really bad. I'm sorry. Reminds me every time of my great-grandmother who passed away in 2014. Such a good soul. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that last bit because I don't want to frick it up. Like a Bridge Over Troubled Water. I love that song. Supermarket Flowers. I sang it at my mom's funeral a few years ago and it always makes me sad. Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. Alright, that's it everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.